education is all encompassing. There's no education without empathy. Between 0 to 6, children watch you more. That is the time they tell you are modeling what you want them to see. Most of the children that they tag play too much, they're kinesthetic learner. They learn very well, very fast. Make them add drama. The only work of a child is to play. You must apologize to your child when you are wrong. If you don't learn to apologize to your child when you are wrong, you are not teaching them to take responsibility when they are wrong. So as parents, you don't joke when your children are quite young. You don't rest. It will create a schedule for them that they follow. But what we have now is helicopter parenting, hovering around the children. You see 17-year-old in university. My senior daughter used to tell me that some of them will come to school. She's still escorting them to crossroad. Igbo will say so good. Tis well.
More than 50% of you watching right now haven't subscribed yet to this channel. And I'd like you to do me a favor. Please subscribe now. It is how we continue to bring you the latest education on psychology and well-being so you can become the best at what God has created you to become. And it's also how YouTube recommends this video to more people and a bigger audience. So please do us this favor. Subscribe now and share this video. So Auntie Debbie, welcome to the ULab show.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
Thank you. So I'd like to begin this episode this way for the benefit of our viewers who might not know you or have come in contact with you. So I'd like to ask it maybe directly, who are you, Auntie Debbie?
All right. My name is actually Debbie Abinoma. Debbie is a seasoned educationist,
Okay.
a mother to 3 lovely children who are now all almost adults.
Okay.
Yes, a lover of God, a passionate woman when it comes to the things of God and also when it comes to my career working with children. Debbie is someone who is very interested in family, in relationship, anything that has to do with children, seeing them function well, see them do well, see them grow well, see them act well. Like, I'm this kind of person that whatsoever is wrong, I can't manage it. I frown and like I don't even care where it happens.
You express
I
it instantly.
Instantly. So I like good things.
Okay.
I love family a lot. I love family a lot. So I'm just very playful, very accessible, very cool and not calm. Very in the bosque a little bit.
Okay.
And that's just who I am.
Okay. Very double scale, a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
In the right way.
Okay. Thank you,
You're
Debbie.
welcome.
Okay, so let me kick that off. You talked about this love for family. And I want to believe that every society we've admired, you've admired, I have admired. The collapse of any system starts from the family.
Sure.
The kindness that we extend to a stranger, the rage we feel in the traffic, the way you speak or I speak to someone weaker or greater than we are is either taught or not taught by someone. And it starts from the family, right?
Yes, sure.
So here's what I want to ask. What are the values, principles that a family must live, breathe, and model daily for a child to grow into a well-grounded adult?
That's a good question. And the thing is that I don't want to sit down here to talk about what I didn't model.
Correct.
I want to sit down here to talk about what I modeled. And then if along the line, there are some places I had lapses, other people also will learn from where I had lapses,
Okay.
First of all, I'm actually, like I said, I love family a lot. And I believe in family values.
Okay.
I believe in family having values, key values. Like if you ask a child from a family, what will your daddy say when you do this thing? How will your mommy react? A child will be able to say, no, in my family, such a thing is not acceptable. Okay, like in my family, one thing I knew that I really taught is love and bond.
Okay.
In my home, like love and bond, and then empathy. I actually groomed my children. Okay, most time I'm not talking about husband. I'm actually a widow for 16 years now. So when I talk, so I don't look like I'm just a single mom like that. No, not just like that. You know, when my husband was alive, it was a kind of love he gave to me. He gave us love. There's this love, this empathy. My business was his business. Then we already had our 3 children before he passed, but they were quite young. So anything that affected the children affected him. So we had love, we had empathy, we had compassion while he was alive. And when he passed on, I picked it up from where he stopped. So like my children, there's this love binding us. In my family, once we say this is a family secret, I bet you it can never go outside. Even with my children, when people will say things like, children talk a lot, talk a lot.
Yeah.
Don't allow them see your secret. They're going to spill it outside. No, it didn't happen in my home. It didn't happen. Yes, it didn't happen because we had this thing. It was this togetherness. So my children knew what they call family secret. So in love, if they do something wrong, I scold them. I used to beat a lot then. Before I stopped beating a lot. You know? Yes, I used to beat a lot. But after beating, I don't beat you and throw you out. I beat you and later we'll talk about whatsoever that happens. So love, compassion, empathy, togetherness, peace. I'm an advocate of peace, peaceful home, peaceful family. So these are the things that if you groom children in such environment, they will become better adults. Because if you are empathetic, your child sees how empathetic you are. Your children watch you when you drive a car and somebody drives wrongly. And the next thing you do to tell the person, are you mad? You are mad. And you have a child there. You just communicated to the child that that's what should happen. Even if you see a drunkard or a drunk on the road who is entering the drainage, and what you say that, see how useless his life is, you are telling your child that that's what to do. Nothing stopping from even showing empathy to the person, even if the person is a drunk. You could at least help. You understand? So because of that, I see my children like that, not because of what I said to them, but because of what I did. By the grace of God, I'm a giver. Like, I love to give. And I see it in the life of my children. They like to give. Because they watch them don't do what you say. They do what they see you do. That's it.
So the values and the principles were not just said in the house and agreed, it was expressed in your actions, daily actions.
It can't even be said in the house because if you say it, they don't hear you. Most times that's why I tell our modern parents, and most times I look at them and when I see the kind of parenting style this generation, I just smile. I keep trying to help and I know that we may get there, may quote. Like if you tell a child, go and study your book, and you are pressing your phone, no, the child will not study. Especially when the child is within the formative stage of their lives, which is actually 0 to 5 and sometimes 6. Between 0 to 6, children watch you more. That is the time they tell you are modeling what you want them to see. That is when you model what you want them to see. So if you tell children, go and read, and you are pressing phone, you're always on phone, the child can't read. You make a child read when you pick up a book and act, even if you are not reading. Even if you're not reading, you act like you are reading. So the child sees you. The child watches you and the child copies you. So it's not just what you say. That is where we get it. Tell you, I'm an adult. So I tell my child has to obey me. No. You are a role model. When Bible talked about train up a child in the way he should go, training has to do with parenting. Parenting has to do with modeling what you want them to see. And that is it. You can't be smoking, and you're telling your child, don't be a smoker when you grow up. Automatically, the child will smoke. Because that's what the child is seeing. That's what the child is copying. I've seen teenagers take cigarettes to school.
Take cigarettes to school?
To school, yes. They take cigarettes maybe from their dad's park or something. To school. Where is it coming from? From home. So as parents, it's a lot of work. We have to be highly intentional. You don't joke when your children are quite young. You don't rest. I'm a little bit more relaxed now because my children have grown. There's a stage I know I have passed. They have grown, they have formed. But the time they were small, I tell people I don't go for party. That's what's affecting me till today. You can hardly invite me for a party and you see me there. Because because of the way I was always at home with the children, trying to curb them, shaping them, you know.
You want to be always, you're always watching them?
Oh, of course. I didn't trust anybody around my children. I didn't trust anybody. I didn't believe anybody can train them for me. I had helps. But even with the help, I still monitor the activities of the help because I didn't trust anybody. I don't trust cousin, maybe one cousin brother, and I carry my daughter and put on their leg. No, I was that intentional. Yes. So it's a lot. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. You watch, before you know, one cousin comes and your son, they are trying to groom. Somebody is grooming your child somewhere and you are busy. I was working, funny enough. I've been a teacher all my life. I was working, so not like I'm idle. But while you are working, you are still intentional. I tell parents that it doesn't take you 6 hours to talk to a child. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. You people can have that time you are driving them to school. Yeah. What are you guys doing in the car? When you are driving them to school, when you are bringing them back from school, what are you guys doing in the car? You understand? So people are still in the car, still listening to TikTok video. No. That's supposed to be, what are you talking about? Let's assume you're a very busy mother.
Yeah.
Those are, pocket of times that you can use to teach your children. Wake up in the morning. Morning devotion was compulsory in my life, in my family, when my children were much younger. Because that's the time I used to teach them Bible and we talk.
And again, you talked about correction. Now, there's this psychologist who was talking about when you correct a child, regardless of how, maybe through beating, spoken words, that children have a way of going into their shell after such act. But if you don't repair means going back to repair to make the child understand why the correction was done, that such repair end up growing up in shameful, as in seeing themselves as less as every other person. Do you think that that research is true?
Okay, I wouldn't say completely true or untrue.
Yes.
Now, it depends. Now, I just talked to you about how I used to be a beating mom. Actually, used to beat a lot, actually. Then I didn't know more. Okay. It was based on what, that's, even though my father really didn't beat me. So I won't really say that was how I was trained though.
Okay.
No, I actually had, my dad is late. So I had a very lovely father, lovely home. I came from a very lovely home. So I wouldn't say, but the society has a way of shaping you into something. So there we believe that children need to be beaten before they hear you. Yeah. And we interpret the Bible, spare the rod and spoil the child and all of that. Yes. You understand? But what we didn't learn, I didn't know then was that there were so other ways too you could correct children. I'm not an advocate of taking away cane completely. I will never be, I'm sorry. Because I understand the part of, when it, once in a while, when it plays in. Now, what you're talking about now is different because sometimes some people abuse these things. Okay. Like, I always tell parents, there's a particular child I was asking the mom a few days ago, I said, do you guys beat this child a lot? And the mother said, we was trying to I said, she asked, why do I ask? I said, because the child, the first thing he does when he sees you, when you are talking to him, stop doing that. He raises his hand and hits you. He raises his hand, whether you are big, whether you are small, he hits. So by the time I told the mom, I said, this child always hits. So it tells me you guys hit him a lot. And the next thing she said, exactly, talk to the father. The father does that a lot. The father hits him a lot. So you can see, I'm not in their home, but I know that children copy, like I said before. So now, instead of the child, as me, sometimes you use correction to say, okay, no, because you did this, there's no TV time. If children are acting, they act that they tell you, no TV time, they act like they call it pretense play. They try to act like mommy, act like daddy. It is what you always say to them. That is what they will repeat at that time. Okay. So if the child is always trying to beat the younger one, stop it, that means that's what is obtainable from home. And it is not good. A child should be able to balance and maybe say things like, oh, my daddy can just maybe once in a while you bring out cane, but my daddy hardly brings out cane, but my daddy disciplines you. You will understand, you will know. My daddy can tell you that you're not going to watch television for 1 week and he means it, and you're not going to watch television for 1 week. And no matter how much you beg him and cry, he will tell you that, yes, what you did is wrong. And because children, after doing that, like you said, you must return to let them know why you're doing what you are doing. Okay. You must have that conversation. They need to understand.
Yeah.
They need to. But what leads to maybe sometimes the children withdrawing is the fact that, like what they did to some of us there.
Yeah.
Even though most of us still did not withdraw, check the adults today. Some of us are even better adults than what we are raising this generation.
100.
Let's actually be honest.
100%.
Yeah, but sometimes we tell you that they lost confidence. You lost confidence along the road, along the line. You regain the confidence. That's the truth. You went to find the confidence from
you picked it back.
You picked it back. So I'm not completely against the way our parented us. Okay. Neither am I completely against what is happening and what they call gentle parenting. But I think there should be a place of balance.
Yeah.
I feel there should be a place of balance. It's very important.
Yeah.
You know, I got to a point where I stopped beating my children. Then we dialogued more. We talked more. I disciplined more. And my children know. You know when the Bible says that the word of God does not fall to the ground. Yeah. That was how my words were. They don't. If I pronounce it, it's going to happen. If I tell you I'm going to seize your phone for 1 week, I'm seizing your phone for 1 week. Yes.
Interesting. Again, we might not know our temperament fully until we have children. You know, someone said that. And we know that there are no such thing as perfect parent. There are no such thing as that.
No.
So, but is there any strategy or tools anyone can use to at least try to improve their parenting game?
Of course, there are strategies. There are strategies, which I mentioned. The first one I mentioned is trying to model who you are.
Okay, modeling.
Let your children see you for who you are. If you are not correctly correct or so okay, maybe based on your parenting background, also have that conversation with the children. Okay. Let's assume you came from a toxic background. Okay, and sometimes let's say out of your background, let's say you came from in quote an abusive home where every little thing they beat you, they slap you, everything, and then you find yourself doing that. Whenever you call your child to talk to your child, tell your child how you are working on yourself because of this is what the background you came from. You wouldn't want him to experience such background.
You mean I should tell my child?
Very well.
Is that an okay conversation?
Very okay conversation. Your child needs to know when you make a mistake, be sincere about your mistake. When you make a mistake, it's just as teachers now, for example. We train teachers. For example, in my school, we have a particular handwriting style. And when the teacher comes in, we train you on how to do the handwriting. Now, I always tell the teachers, when you go back to the class, let the children know that you are learning. Because remember, they're coming from another class. So they already know that handwriting. But this teacher is a new teacher who hasn't learned this handwriting. So you come into the board to act like you know this thing. By the time you write the R in the wrong way, the teacher will correct you. Miss so person, you didn't write it well. Mr. So person, you didn't write it well. They will keep correcting you and you feel embarrassed. But the best way to do is to tell the children that I just finished learning our school's handwriting style. So I am still learning. Okay, so anytime I write the R in the wrong way or the M in the wrong way, please, you people should call my attention to it. I'm learning and I'm sure some of us are still learning. The children will love, they will so like you for doing that and for, you know, nicely. Okay, excuse me, Mr. Maker. Okay, the R, you forgot. Oh, that's true. Let me write it correctly. That's how parenting is too. When you make a mistake, let your children know you made a mistake. Let them know. Okay. In our home, like in my house, my children know that our what's it called now? Curfew time, like the time you cannot stay beyond outside is 6 p.m. Okay. So even when my daughters, mommy, I'm going out with a friend and all of that, they tell me. Another whatever we have in our home is that I must know your friends. I know the people you are going out with. Okay. So you want to go out. Mommy, I'm going out with my son. I'm going out with David. Maybe I forgot. Who is David? Mommy, remember, he came to the house that time. Oh, okay, David. I'm from David's place. I'm going to so person's house. So per time, I know. My son went out last week. Mommy, I'm going first to my secondary school to play ball. From there, I'm going to this place next. And as around past 5, I was not seeing him. I called. And he said, Mommy, I'm on my way back home. That's the whatever. Okay. So let's assume there's something that wants to take me out. I tell my children, Once, I told you I don't know how to go for party. But once, there's one party, maybe a very close friend or somebody that I attend. I'll tell my children that I'll be very late today. I won't come back early today because the party is a night party. And you know the next thing to tell me, mommy, have fun. After you don't like going out, have fun.
Interesting.
Yes. So you can't just say, oh, because I'm the mom, they don't need to know where I'm going. What if I'm in danger?
Yeah.
Are you getting it? You can't. There's sometimes you are in danger. Like my children already have this. They know that when they want to travel, they send me their life location. When they're traveling, coming back from school or going to school, they send me life location where they are. These are, you understand? So you need to model who you are, what you want them to be. That's one. Then two, you need to correct them in love. And now correcting in love doesn't mean petty. I think that's where people miss it. It doesn't mean petty. A child is wrong and you scold the child and say, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. No. You affirm. No, Obina, what you did, do you know why it is wrong? Talk to me. I want to be sure you got the reason why I disciplined you. Let Obina speak. But most of the parents are the ones doing the speaking. You're the one beating the child. You're talking on top of the child. You, this child, what is wrong with you? No. Talk to me. Hey, mommy, you said I shouldn't watch TV after 7 p.m. I disobeyed you. Okay, now, what do you think is danger of being disobedient? You understand? You are correcting love. After that, you're not supposed to say, okay, sorry, I beat you. No. You people have discussed it. You have talked about it. And the child has learned the lesson. So, okay, next time, don't do that, okay? What would you do better next time? Correcting. And then when you make a mistake, let's say you mistakenly accuse a child who didn't do something. Somebody used the toilet and they flush, and in your head, the particular child who would always do that, and you call the child's name. And you're like, Ngozi, I know it's you. You are the one that used this toilet. I don't need to ask. At the end of the day, you discover that it wasn't Ngozi. Don't say, hey, I know now. No. You need to apologize. That's two.
You need to apologize to Ngozi.
You must apologize to your child when you are wrong. If you don't learn to apologize to your child when you are wrong, you are not teaching them to take responsibility when they are wrong. Sometimes we parents are wrong. Sometimes we want to model ourselves as super parents. That is where we get it all wrong. If your children know that you can make mistake, there are certain aspects they won't expect so much because they know you are human. But when you make yourself a super, and they look, oh, super dad, super whatever, then it looks like you can never make a mistake. When you make a mistake, they go behind. Have you heard maybe sometimes they say a joke, like you're always calling your child for failing, calling your child for failing. One day your child is cleaning shelf and your child finds a result and like, daddy, whose name is this? And you're like, you're at that point because, but my children, they all know all the times I failed. They know. Where I didn't do well. If you ask them what was your mother's worst subject, my children can tell you that it's maths. And the reason why maths was my worst subject, my children can still tell you, because I told them I had bad teachers who didn't teach me maths well. Our teacher was always mean and all of that. And I discovered when I mentioned it to them, so my children, when they were going to school, I noticed some of them having little challenges in math. I followed it up, not by quarreling. I never quarreled for once. Because I knew that it's from me. So my husband was very good in math. So I started following it up. My children will always tell you that my mommy wasn't good in math, but I want to do better. I opened up to them. So you can open up to them.
All right. There is a generation growing up right now. Like you also rightly said, this generation has more information. They have access to opportunities. They have more people telling them they're enough. They have all the love that they need. And yet they are so fragile and living anxious. And they are so lost. So I want you to sit with that paradox for a moment. What are we doing as parents in the name of love and protection that's responsible for all these? And how do we build back mental toughness in our children? The kind that allows a human being to break and rebuild themselves back up together. You know, I said this because it seems we have a weaker generation than our father. So what is responsible? Because we have agreed that every unit of our society starts from the home. So what are we doing as parents that is responsible for raising this weak, anxious, and fragile generation?
Okay, now most times, I think the mistake we make most times is that we feel that love actually is just like what you provide for the family, when you protect your children,
Yes.
and when you praise them.
Yes.
Most of that's what we think that love entails. Like, you hear some men say, especially you men, sorry, you say that a lot. What do you want from me? I provide for the home.
Yes.
But love goes beyond providing for the home.
Okay.
Beyond. There was one post that was trending some time ago. Like, if you remove, I think it was Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo,
Okay.
yes, who mentioned it, that some men, if you remove providing from the home from them, there's nothing else that is left. Okay, now love, it doesn't entail just provision, just praising the child when the child. Love is correcting the child and be available for the child and be there for the child. Love is scolding the child. Love entails scolding the child. Love entails disciplining the child. And love entails, above all, love entails being available and accessible. Now, let me explain that.
Okay.
Sometimes, fathers are home, but they're not available and not accessible.
But they are home.
They're at home. Mothers are home. They're there. What do they do? TikTok, phone, and all of that. Nothing. Homework not done. School functions not attended. So children are just growing up like orphans and they have parents. And then the father will tell you, I provide. I provide. Of course you provide. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But you provide. And because I'm in the educational sector, I see a lot of things that sometimes bring tears to my eyes. Sometimes I go back to my office, I find a way to salvage the situation, to be available, to act like the mother sent me or the father sent me. You see children, we are having something. Every other person is wearing a particular costume. The child is coming looking haggard and looking all like. Sometimes some orphans don't even look like that because they have somebody who have compassion on them and even pick them up. Some HACCP don't even look like that. And these children or this child has father and mother. And then all you do is to praise the child. Oh, good job, Ngozi. Good job, Ngozi. You are not available because Ngozi brought a result that you didn't know that the teacher had to go the extra mile. So that my teachers will ask. I was talking to one of my teachers yesterday and she was telling me about a child in a class. And he told me that, what do I do? We send forth homework, it's not there. We call for meeting, they're not there. We do this, they're not there. What do I do? And I told the teacher, I said, all you need to do at this time, it shows that there's no love from home and there's no follow-up from home. You just need to stop giving this child assignment and focus on the child at school. Now, by the time this teacher focuses on the child at school, the child is naturally drawn to this teacher. And that's why you hear, there are some things that I always tell people that I can't relate with. Like my children will tell outsiders things that I'm not aware of. No, sir. There are some things I can't, like, they tell you, they prefer to talk to their teachers, prefer to talk to, sir, no. I can't relate. Do you know why I can't relate?
No.
That's the thing I talked about. Love is not only being, or rather, providing for the home. And being seen, oh, daddy, oh, mommy. No, it entails more than that. It goes beyond that. How much time do you have to sit with your child and discuss real life issues? How much time? And you know what, sir? In the educational world, like me and a school owner, we know those children who are truly loved. They are when you see them, you know they are coming from a healthy home. I don't need to be your home to know.
So how do you see? Is it the way they are dressed or the way they are smiling? Because again, when I was a young boy, back then, like you said, we have gentle parenting now than the way we were raised. Back then, my mother only had to give us food. Then once it's around 7, I'll carry my box on my head. I think I was in primary school, yes. I walk to my school unguarded. Nobody follows me. The school is around 10 minutes walk from my house. Then after school, I walk back. I need to cross a major road too. But these days, we drive our children to school. We will drive them back. We make everything available. So is it that we are still overparenting too? Is it part of it? Are we overparenting?
You are not even parenting in the right way, so to say. Maybe overparenting. Because the truth is that there's a period where you mold children, where you are not a role model. There's a period of letting go. Okay. Now, a lot of parents can't even let go. That's why a child in university who gains admission into university, you see the parents escorting them to university to go and make sure that they are okay, they settle in, and they come back. Then every 2 days, it's normal to check up on your child. Me, somebody like me, I want to hear from my children every day, actually. Okay. You understand? Not because I'm afraid that they cannot. In fact, sometimes they will tell me, Mommy, you worry a lot. Okay. Not because my first daughter was 12 years when she started taking keke. I don't follow any of my children to go to JAM office for registration. In fact, as a matter of fact, I don't know what JAM office looks like. I don't know. I still parented in at least this generation. Yeah. I don't know what JAM office looks like. So I think it's the individual. Okay. I don't know what JAM office look like. If they want to open bank account, all they need, Mommy, NEPA B, this one, that one, I give to you. They take keke. Me, drive you. How? I don't understand. Do I have a car? Yes. I've always had car. Yeah. So it's not today. As a matter of fact, I had car when I gave birth to my first child. So I've always had car. So it's not like I didn't have car. Yeah. No. But that's that thing of getting to a point, you start removing your hand gradually, you know. And I remember the first time my daughter took keke, it was to church. Then I directed her. We'll be taking keke. So then when my car is bad, we take keke. So she watches. Yeah. You understand? But that day, I told her that you take keke today. When you get to the road, watch, cross. Now living at around Marble Hill. And church, of course, DBS Road. I said, so you come out, you take keke to DBS Junction. From DBS Junction again, you take another one to church. Then. And I told her that she had a phone. I said, when you get to church, call me. Let me know that you have arrived. She left. By the time she got to church, she forgot to call me. That day, oh God, I almost fainted. And I started calling her. Yeah. She wasn't taking her call. I had to call their teens pastor. Okay. Like, okay, my daughter, and I said, I shall be here. I was like, wow. Oh, finally, you know, she arrived. Gradually, the next one. As I speak to you, my son, at 11, 12, my son could cook meal. He cooks very well now. At 17, he cooks, he's homely, he does everything because I get to the point when I start removing my hand. But what we do now is called helicopter parenting. That's what we do. Like you're always hovering around the children. You can't send a child. See your street here. You can't send a child to Mama Nkechi opposite your street to buy something. How do you want your child to know the use of money? You think it's what they teach them in school? Bring money, they not set up one small thing in the classroom, and they tell them, let's add pretense play. Your child can never. Sir, did you learn money like that? Good. You learn money by going to Mama Nkechi place. Yeah. So that Mama Nkechi will give you wrong change. Yes. So the bad our parents those days will give you head knock. You will go back. But this one you don't need to give head knock. You calculate it. Okay, come. They gave you, well, check it. Now go back. Go and tell Mama Nkechi. And the child goes back. That is how they learn. So you get to that point, you start removing. You don't just remove your hand once. You start removing your hand. So that way you need to escort them. You leave them there. You go and all of that. But what we have now is helicopter parenting, hovering around the children. You see 17-year-old in university. My senior daughter used to tell me that some of them will come to school. She's still escorting them to Crossroad. I followed my senior daughter when she gained admission to her school. Yeah. I wanted to know because he's in the West. Yeah. So I wanted to use the opportunity to know the school and all of that. So I didn't sit down with her when she was doing registration. As a matter of fact, I was at a hotel. I told her when she was done with her registration, she come and meet me in the hotel. Because by then, our accommodation wasn't out. So I just booked a room, a lodge there in the school compound. As she finished what she did that day, she went to what's it called? The room. She came to the room to meet me. Following the first thing in the morning, I was back to Asaba while she went to finish her clearance. After that day, even my children now don't ever attend my chick. I'm not saying it's wrong. I told them that I cannot come for my chick. What am I coming to do? You just enter school. My friend, go and read. Then by the grace of God, come in for convocation by the grace of God. That is the one I will not tell you that, okay, not coming for my chick. I don't know. You're not ready your first test. I don't even know that you will pass. Go and read. That's my own style. But you see parents, this day, my chick, they will set canopy. Am I saying it's bad? No. To them, that's what they want to do. Yeah. But to me, my own is that go and read. I will give you money. To that for my chick, take money. Wear your whatever, take picture. If you want to eat something good, eat. I will not come. Even my son's school is very close to Asaba. So I won't even say it's distance. I did not go because they know I won't come. Take picture. Then be reading, study. Show me your marks, your test you wrote, how much you attend class. What are you doing? That's what I'm interested in.
I think I got the picture right now.
You get the picture, right?
Yeah.
So we are being overprotective.
Yes. So I think it's first of dependence.
Exactly.
The child is dependent on the
That's
parent.
First. Good.
Then first is interdependence.
Exactly.
Then we should also know when to now let the child be dependent
They
on
need
himself.
to, okay, that the word is that the children need to make mistakes and learn from their mistakes. You cannot keep, you get to a point when you do that, the children will start acting like they're rebellious because you're actually over spoon feeding them. It's just that imagine you trying to feed your 9-year-old child, for example. He'll tell you that, he will look at you like, Daddy, but we do that even though we don't do it physically. You are trying to monitor, control, shoe that the child will wear to church. You are the one who want to bring it out. Okay? He brings out the shoe he feels he wants to wear. If you have a problem, because sometimes, of course, we have a problem with maybe the color combination. And all you need to do is that, John, look at this color combination. What color of shirt are you wearing? Green. What color of shirt are you wearing? Pink. And then you are bringing this kind of shoe. You look at the shop like, okay. Now, John, go and see what you can combine that we go. You are not going to his wardrobe to go and bring. Now you are redirecting him to go back and see what can fit. Sometimes I say, me, I will leave you. But then you go to church, people will laugh at you. What are you wearing like this? When you come back, there are different ways people learn.
Yeah.
People make mistakes. People learn. That's why, you know what's happening in the educational world now? Exam malpractice everywhere. Yes. Why? People now, they now make it look like failure is a crime.
Yes.
They begin to make it look like to primary school exam, primary 6 exam. Schools now will try to organize so that they will show them answer. Now, failure is not a crime. Now, every school owner, including me, we're all afraid. If they hear the result now and 1 or 2 children fail, they'll be like, we don't teach you in our school. And that is the whatever. And I keep asking, when has failure become a crime? When has failure? Even the Bible said that the righteous will fall 7 times and still rise. What does that mean? You make a mistake, you fail. You pick up your broken pieces, you stand. You make a mistake, you fail. My second daughter, who is studying nursing, I think at 100 level, she had one carryover. She told me, she didn't hide it. She was like, Mommy, so called. I told her, relax, you do it, you clear it, it's okay. I didn't have carryover. I didn't. I don't know what it looked like. I used to use it to hear it. But so I would have been like, oh, why will you fail? Whatever. Or because even when she wrote the exam, because of the way the exam happened, she already knew that something like that. So she already mentioned, if I were to be that kind of a mom, find out the lecturer now, let's wipe it, let's clean it. It's not me. I can't be that, because what I'm teaching you, what kind of nurse do I want you to become? A nurse that will not know how to do the job of a nurse? Because that is the kind of people we are producing in our society today. Things are getting out of hand because people now see that failure is people are not supposed to fail.
Correct.
Are you getting? So that's what we do with our parenting. We don't want the children to make a mistake. Oh, don't make a mistake. You want, if possible, we'll teach them how to work like robots. And we think, and we're preparing these people for what? Let's even use this Nigeria. This tough Nigeria.
Tough environment.
This tough environment. You're preparing your children like that? Like that? Ibo will send Sobudi. Tis well.
Okay. So, let me talk about education a little bit. What is education for, actually, in your opinion? And do you think I think you partly also said it, but do you think we are raising people who are first fit for themselves and for the society?
Okay, I think some have talked about it. Now, education is all encompassing. Okay, most time people think that education is just all about the academic and all of that. No, it's not. There's no education without empathy. There's no education without teaching skills. There's no education, because most of that's what we do. We don't teach children how to face the day-to-day challenges that come their way. We just want them to learn math and pass. And that's why sometimes it pains me. But thank God, another good thing about this parents who are having this generation is that actually begin to realize. Before, if you tell a parent that your child is very skillful in art, your child draws very well, the mother will tell you, I don't understand. That's why my child to school to go and learn how to draw. But now, if you tell the parents that the child knows how to draw. The parents will ask you, do you have a club for art club or all of the way the child can? Last week I was talking to a parent who was asking me, what's my daughter's skill? I need to engage her. What does she? So I was telling the woman that your daughter likes craft, making of all those beads, making of all those things. Say, really? It's okay. I'm going to engage her this time. So that's the positive side of these parents we have in this generation. They are beginning to see now that education is all encompassing. It's not just about maths and English or read and write. A child can read and write. Even though in Nigeria we still have that thing of they must know how to read. You understand? Because of how our system is structured. Forgetting that we have some children with learning disability, such as dyslexia. You know, imagine teaching a what they call it, a child who has dyslexia how to read. It's a whole lot of what the child may not even read. But the child is gifted in other aspects, gifted in other things. Now, are we looking at these things? Sometimes no. We have the special needs children. What's the plan for these children? They must not go to a regular university. They must not do the regular thing. Some of them have skill. I went to speak last week in a World Autism Day, and I gave an example. I thought an autistic child who could look at you, sir, the way you are sitting there like this, and draw you perfectly. But then I was worried because I actually didn't know what it was. I was worried, like, why is this child always drawing? If you're talking about maths, English, any other thing, you're talking to yourself. Like you're talking to yourself. As a matter of fact, when you're even teaching those things, the child will bring out the pencil. And before you know, by the time you check under the desk, this child has produced something and you're wondering. But like most of my students, I think about it, I say, I don't know where this guy. That one would have been if I had the knowledge that I had now. That then I'd have spoken to the parents. They put him to work with an artist to learn, because that's where he would have. I don't know. I hope he's doing well now. He would have blossomed very well because that is his skill. I don't need to be told. I'm glad that we have parents that before you tell your parent, I want to be a footballer, they tell you, is everything okay? But now, thank God we have parents that when they notice that their children now can play football, they register them in the clubs. So our parents, that's the one thing I like about this generational parents. You understand that they begin to understand that, okay, it's not just all about academic skill here and there. And I love that about them. You understand? So education is all encompasses both skill, moral, values. What do you think? Like in my school, I'm very big on moral. We don't use scale. As a matter of fact, even me, the owner of this school, don't have scale. We don't use scale, but to a reasonable extent, we shape on our children. Because we have in our curriculum those things, those values, those moral. Pardon?
Built in.
Yes, built in. You understand? We have it during assembly. What are we talking about? Okay, kindness. If you follow my school page, you'll see what kindness day. The last year we went to slum at Cable area to go and feed vulnerable children. We take children to go and do this. They serve the children the food themselves. We are putting something. Valentine's Day, sort of doing them, exchange love, exchange flower. We went to Asaba Specialty Hospital to visit sick children. Put money in the envelope. We'll give it to the children. And we tell their parents to donate. So some of them know that their parents donated. And we give it to them. And then these children will go and say, on behalf of, we give you this. Get well soon. Get well soon. What are we teaching them? These are what education entails. And then the school, skills. You know, I noticed that this child knows how to dance, has a talent on dancing. We have dance club. And then sometimes we encourage the parents, register your child. Even though somebody, he did not do well in maths, he will not join that club. Sometimes I laugh. And I tell them that a child dancing has nothing to do with maths. Who knows math? If you know math, you know math. If you don't know math, it's not dance that want to affect you from knowing math. I always tell parents that. And I'm saying it publicly. A child who can dance. It's not maths. The child doesn't know math. Just find a way to help the child. Not like when you take the child away from dance club, automatically the child start knowing maths. No, that's not true. That's not true. So, you know, so education now entails all of this thing. It's so rich, it's so broad. You have to equip the children for the future. That's what education entails. Equip them for the future. Now we are in what's it called, tech era. How much tech are we imbibing and inculcating our curriculum? Our children need to be tech inclined. When I started it in my school, a lot of people were like, no, I love my children using laptop. But now everybody have calmed down. Because I tell them, I'm hearing that WAEC wants to start doing purely CBT. I mean, JAM already, they do purely CBT. Some of us, like you talked about traveling abroad, somebody wants to relocate, wants to travel abroad. You think they go there, go and be uni paper too. No, it's computer. Because most of them have this study routine where people study on their own. Everything is in the system for you. And you don't know how to use it.
Yes.
You want me to produce local champion. No, I cannot produce local champion because I'm equipping children for the future. And I'm not equipping my children for Asaba.
Yes.
I'm equipping my children. Some schools in Lagos are top notch. Some schools in Port Harcourt are top. Let them even live abroad. They're top notch. I have a parent who's relocating this term to Abuja. What if I not expose our children to computer and then they go there and it's all computer based? It does not look like, no, it's a local school. No. So these are the things that education, encompasses.
Yeah.
Everything. You look at it. Life application, daily living skill. These are all the things. And you look at it and you bring this here, bring it here, and put it. That's what education is all about.
Now, there's a challenge so many parents are having. So many parents are struggling with getting their children to focus and learn, particularly in this social media era. It's a big problem. Please, how can any family, any parent deal with that?
Okay, now, I said we're in tech era.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with you identifying with the era that we are. It's only Jesus Christ that is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Yes, it's the same. Yes, and when even Jesus is the same yesterday and forever, I'm sure that, I don't know, let me not say what I don't know, but I'm sure that, yes, there are some things that even Jesus will be like, mercy. Okay. You understand? Like, at least they had in the Old Testament, they had the era of law, where anything you commit, they stone you to death. In the New Testament, the era of grace,
yes,
where you are not stoned. So that means there's still, some changes and some mercy. Let me use the word mercy that's speaking for us. We cannot actually, ignore the era that we are.
Okay.
We are in tech era. We're in social media era. And so, because of that, we have parent lack of knowledge too. We makes parents engage their children too quick in the world of digital world. Use of phone, laptop. Normally, a 2-year-old is not supposed to sit in front of a screen. Normally.
Okay.
But now you go to hospital, maybe if a child is sick and you take the child to hospital, you see parents, they give 2-year-olds phone, 3-year-old phone. That's what the children and they focus on the screen only or television, Cocomelon.
Yes.
That's it. Any other thing you are talking, so you want to talk to them, they can't pay attention because I'm not a doctor, but I know there's a science behind that thing. What these pictures do to the brain of these children.
Yeah.
You understand? It's a lot of research has been proven. Even the Western world people who brought these things to us are even telling us that the excessive usage of these things is actually not good. It's actually addictive.
Yes.
It's highly addictive.
Yes.
And like I said, I'm glad for this opportunity to say this and pray this will go around. So even other school owners, I give my parents orientation a lot. So, and a lot of them are learning. So I have a lot of parents whose children are 2 years below that have not turned on, they've not touched phone, they've not watched television, and I'm proud of them.
They've not watched television.
No, I have some parents. I can mention some names.
Not watched television
At all. They don't sit to watch television because they're not used to it. They're not used to it. Now, because of the fact that this screen, you see a lot of schools, they take activity-based learning. Although activity-based learning is actually supposed to be how to teach children. Because if you look at children, there's a saying that says the only work of a child is to play. That's why you can never catch me saying the child plays too much. I can't say that. Because that's the only work of a child, to play. What you have to do as the parents is to create a schedule for them that they follow. When I come back from school, homework time, sleeping time, food time, and that's the job of the parents. But that you want to leave children, the only work they have is to play. That's the only work. So now, what we do now is that because we understand that a lot of, we call it ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Okay.
That's it. ADHD is rampant. When you come in a class of 10 children, like 8 or 7 have ADHD.
Can't focus.
No, they can't focus. So they cannot focus more than 5 minutes. Or like, how did they teach us? You know, we sit down, we are looking at the teacher. Yes. Repeat after me. Repeat after. Mistakenly tell children not to repeat after you. They sleep on top of you. For you know, they're tired. They can't focus. And that's why you see us, even we're all active. People ask me, Auntie Debbie, you're not getting old. I can't get old. As you get old for those children, their energy, I have to match it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because they are hyper. So anything you're teaching, looking for activity you're going to use to work with the children because they must learn. I have somebody, very popular person, I don't want to call her name. She told me she's in the school in this town. Her child plays too much. I'm telling my child, what do I do? What do I do? And I told her, I said, your child is just a kinesthetic learner. Kinesthetic learner, hands-on. Your child wants activity. Your child does not play too much. The school where your child is has not discovered that your child is a hands-on learner. So they just teach. Sometimes you teach using just visual, using just audio. The child is tired and yawning. But the moment I said, she not say, yes, how do you know? I said, I know because you said your child plays too much. Most of the children that they tag play too much, they're kinesthetic learner. They learn very well, very fast. Make them add drama. Make them compose something. Make them do role play. Make them do skit. They will come out. They cannot sit still for too long. Which means in everything we teach, we must inculcate all those activity-based learning, in them. Then also in our tech, we have to use videos to show them. Now, the video is not for so long. You show them clips. Sometimes all these YouTube clips, you want to teach fractions, so that you have 15 minutes YouTube clip. My brother, the children will sit down for 15 minutes watching YouTube clip over you standing in front of the board to show them how to solve.
Yeah.
Because focus is becoming very low. So everything we do, we're not very highly intentional. Because you have to keep imbibing these things, inculcating these things into your system. That's why you ask what education is all about. It keeps diversifying. It keeps changing. The way I was 5 years ago, that's not how I am this year. I keep looking at what's the new trend, what's happening, what's whatever. Before in the educational world, they tell you naughty corner. When the child is naughty, put the child by the corner. But now, you can't put a child in the corner. They will tell you it's going to affect the child's mental health and all of that. So you find a way. The child is naughty. The child is beside you. The child is not with other children, but the child is beside you. The child is not thrown away. Although the highest one now is positive discipline, where you try to talk the child into, the behavior you want the child, and you give the child kudos, you give the child. That's the one a lot of parents start missing, where they now over praise. A child does wrong and pray. You are telling the child, you will do it better next time, okay, good. Like no disciplinary measure, nothing. That's where parents are not getting it all wrong, because they just feel like, okay, good boy, a child stole. Let me not use the word stole, it's too harsh. A child took something that does not belong to him or her from school. And you tell a parent, and the first the parent tells you, it's not my child. My child cannot do such. My child cannot do, and you are looking, forgetting that children can have 17 behavior. At school, if they meet Miss Debbie, they are behaving one certain way. They meet Mr. John, character will change. They meet Miss Celia, another behavior will come up. They come home, they have another character. So most of when parents start saying, I know my child, of course you can know, if you're an intentional parent, you know your child to a reasonable extent. But at certain, sometimes you don't. There's one game we played. My son was part of that game. I can't remember where we played that game. Okay, it was my house, December. And they said, 2 truths and a lie. 2 truths and a lie. And one of the, whatever my son mentioned, I can remember very well, because I was in shock when he said he has fought. He has fought. That was one of the things he mentioned, and they mentioned other things. I couldn't imagine that fighting would have been a part of the truth. I was trying to, you understand? That's why I tell you, sometimes you don't know children completely. He has fought. I think he fought or something. And I didn't know. So that's why you don't come out to hit your hand on your chest. I know my child. No. Your child can go outside and do something. When somebody comes to tell you, your child acted like it, just pause. And if I'll be like, somebody like me, I'll be like, wow, my child, I'm in shock. That must be a strange behavior. I don't know where that is coming from. However, thank you for the information. I'm going to get back to you on that. I'll follow up and get back to you. And that's where I'm different. If I discover that my child actually did that thing, I will go back to you. And I must tell you that thing you said is true. He actually did, she actually did it. I'm so sorry about it. But some parents will now cover up. And by the time you're covering up, children are watching you.
Yeah.
They're watching you when you're telling lies. First of all, in their present, you call a teacher to scold the teacher. Why is my child not with them? Why my child? The child is beside you. And daddy, you even told me that my head is not correct. And you told my child your head not correct. You see where we're having a lot of issues. Am I saying teachers should be rude? No. But not in front of the child. Enter your room. Lock the door. Hello, miss. So, my child complained and reported this to me. How did you get to the point of telling my child that your head is not correct? What led to such use of words? You understand? Let the child, because sometimes even these children, we have the ones who we point at teacher and eye you. Like, we have. Yes. And then the teacher is a human being. Sometimes, what is wrong with you? I think something's wrong with your head. Bam, that's what the child picks and goes home. My teacher told me something's wrong with my head. And the parents will not calm down to know what actually led to it. No. You don't say that. If you say that, I don't mind. I will pull you down. Things like that.
Yeah.
You understand? So, let me come back to your question now. Of course, I've mentioned it.
Yes.
So we have the ADHD, having children. So now we do a lot of hands-on, activity-based. We have to make them involved. Don't sit for too long. Any activity you are doing, they sit a little bit, they have to stand up and do a lot of hands-on. Then, of course, the use of media, we still use it to teach them, show them clips, show them video, make them art. So learning that is like all engaging.
Okay.
That's the only way children can learn. If it's not engaging, they get tired.
So you're saying for a child who's struggling to focus, there is no need trying to go back in time to say, withdraw the phone, you have to sit down, it's compulsory, you must sit down and carry a book and read. We'll just have to evolve with technology.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
You can take, if the phone is the major distraction.
Yes.
One of my parents just bought phone for the children and I'm fighting her. I told her, I said, you see this phone you bought? You're looking for my trouble. And she laughed. I said, because we are still working on these children paying attention and you're buying them phone. I know that if I press and insist, she will withdraw the phones. You understand?
Yes.
So, if the phone is a major distraction, of course, collect the phone. We have other things we do with the children so that we buy puzzles and give them puzzle. Puzzle. So we have tiny bits of puzzle. That we make a child to sit down for like 1 hour. The child has not stood up. We do the local way sometimes. I tell parents that at times, put stone inside beans, mix 2 cups of beans, 5 cups of stone, and give the child, let the child be picking out the stone. It's focus. Then if the child is like older, let them listen to news. News is boring. There's nothing interesting about news. They listen to news and tell them to write out the summary of what the news. They'll come and tell you the summary. And you are there listen to the news, so you know what so the child has to focus. News is not interesting. There's no cartoon. There's no flashing, whatever. They listen to it. And so there are some things we do. So it's not like you just say, okay, but however, I'm talking as a school owner. Now in school, we must ensure that there are activity-based. But at home, there are certain things they don't bring phones to school.
Yes.
So I wouldn't seize phone. There's no phone at school.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's no rice and beans at school. So at home, if the thing is affecting at home, these are what I said that it's some of the things you can do. Okay, then you can have little work, like the play paper you're having, no picture, and make the child read it and summarize, depending on the age of the child. Okay. Or read it and come and tell you, retell, depending on the age of the child. There are a lot of things you can do with them at home. But you can't say, okay, it's tech error. Okay, let the child stay on top of screen. No, the child can't stay on top of screen. No way.
Okay, Auntie Debbie, traumatized parents somehow raise trauma-based children.
Yeah, it's true.
So if a parent is chronically stressed, emotionally unavailable, or silently unhappy, the children struggle regardless of how many activities they're enrolled in school or how, in quotes, they are loved. So is parenting a well-being problem before anything else? And if so, why are we not treating it as one?
It is who you are. You produce your like. You actually produce your like.
Yes.
I know of some people who grew up from a very traumatized background.
Yes.
And how is reflecting in their families today. In their family.
Yeah.
A man who sees a child who sees the father always fighting the mom. And they are married and somehow some of them pick up. This works in two ways.
Okay.
Some of them, they don't want what happened in their home to happen in their what happened to their father to happen to them, or what happened to their mother.
Yes.
There's some of them, they just see themselves replicating what happened in their family, their home. That's how it works. For example, I lived with people, and one of the things they used to maltreat me was actually food. Yes. I got married and learned how to eat well. My husband had to start teaching me how to eat.
Well.
I could stay without food, I did not care. And that's why even till tomorrow, nobody can use food to do one big deal. It's not a big deal because of not for my family.
Yes.
I had to live with people at a certain stage in my life because my dad actually was a pastor and they used to transfer them. So because of my school, my father didn't want to just be carrying me. But maybe I'm in an exam class, he will leave me there to finish. And so that was what happened. And I had this thing from the two places I lived of starving me, not making me eat and stuff like that. And then what did I do? I told myself that nobody comes into my space and food will be a problem.
Because of that event.
Because of that.
Okay.
So I don't even want to hear. As a matter of fact, if I go out, I don't even look for food. I don't even want somebody to even serve me. I don't want food. But if mistakenly, somebody just says anything, maybe something, not even something serious, that has to do with food, and come in now, we bring your own, something like that, I'm off. Because it just reminds me of where I'm coming from. You understand?
Yeah.
So nothing you will do that make me touch that food again. Because in my mind, no, not again.
Yeah.
You understand? So that is the same thing happens with people who are coming from abusive home. Either some will fight it to say, I've seen and heard people who came from broken home, and what they'll say is that I don't want a broken home. And one partner, one of the spouses may be misbehaving and they're managing because they don't want what happened to them to repeat itself. Whereas some who come from broken home, they don't care if you misbehave, let it break. After all, are you getting it? So you can see that we're actually a reflection of our background. So parenting is actually, it's supposed to be, we're supposed to be whole. We're supposed to be whole. So people are supposed to, that's why it's just that in this part of the country, we don't understand the use of therapies, going to see a therapy, talk things out and get healed. Like when I lost my husband, later I started talking about it. And I said that, wow, that I actually needed a therapist then, but I didn't know.
Okay.
Because I was traumatized for years. I actually engrossed in behavior I wasn't supposed to. Because I was seeking, I didn't know what it was. It was depression, actually. It was nice that I knew that. So that thing happening to me there was actually depression. I was depressed because I was seeking for, pleasure. Yeah, I needed to heal. I just wanted something to replace his role in my life and all of that. But if I know what a therapy, use of a therapy, maybe if I'd seen one there, I would have, be able to talk about how I was feeling every day, and before you know, you heal. But somehow, I didn't see, I healed myself. I went through it all myself and I healed myself. I recovered myself. And that's why if I see anybody who loses a spouse, I'm quick to go and check up on them and take them through the process. You will feel like this. You will act like this. Sometimes you feel like this. Just know that you take a deep breath. If you need to talk, call me. I'll be there for you. Because I didn't have anybody for 5 years. I was struggling. People were seeing me smiling, but I was dying for 5 years. It took me 5 years to heal. 5 years to heal. But people they'll see me. I'll laugh. I will die. I like to dance. I will dance. But once I come out from there, when I get home, everything, I knew something was wrong. So we're actually a reflection of these things. Either we try to make it our life better as a result of it, or the thing affects. So I will always advise, if you have a wrong or a traumatized background, seek healing, seek help, because you need your total wellness, well-being, to be able to raise children who are also totally sane and okay.
Correct.
You can't come from a traumatizing atmosphere or environment and you expect that sometimes you just see your past. You just, when Your wife talks to you. You just remember your father.
Yeah.
Maybe you're home. It look like your mother used to control your father, and then you're never. Hey, I don't. You can't control me like That's this why a lot of homes are having cracks. A lot of men who have not healed, they marry. A lot of women who have not recovered from whatever, they just marry. And before you know, you see two broken people coming together. What are you expecting to produce? Are you getting it?
Yeah.
But by the time they heal, you come together, you people talk about this what happened, but I'm healed. Like someone like me now, I am healed. I can talk about widowhood, talk about love, talk about if I tease husband and wife that are playing too much love, and it do not affect me, unlike before. Once I just see your husband and wife where they are whatever, before you know, do you understand?
Yeah.
But now, if I even kiss, I can even help you whole camera and tell you, do you get? But it took time for me to get to that stage of getting healed. You understand?
Yeah.
I remember there, one of my pastors there, his later may so rest in peace, told me, Auntie Debbie, won't you remarry? But then he said it was like something. I said, Jesus, don't say that around me. God forbid, it was because then to me, Jesus, remarry. What if if I lose the man? What if, the thing, that was the trauma. You understand? So these things you need to heal before you can now start, raising family, because you really need to be sane and okay to parent children. Yes. And even as a man, to run your home, the man is the head of the home.
Yeah.
So you need to be okay, very okay to run a home. If the head is not correct, what will happen to the body? If the head is not correct.
What happens to the body?
Exactly. Most time we want to have fever, so start with headache. Right?
Yes.
Before you know, temperature now start coming. Before you know, start feeling some pain all over the body.
Yeah.
That's it. Whatever affects the head, affecting the body. So now it look like a lot of what I see now in a lot of homes is like it's switching. The women are becoming more like the head of the home.
Yes.
The men are becoming more like, and it's an error from the pit of hell, because God did not make a mistake creating Adam. As a matter of fact, he brought Eve from Adam.
Yeah.
He molded Adam. He created Adam. He brought Eve. So why are we switching roles? Why is the woman the one calling for family money devotion? Why is the woman calling for altar in the family? It's an error, sir.
Yeah.
It is a big one. I tell you, women like to know God more. No, because you, the man, refuse to know God. Funny enough, the man I was married to, I knew God more than him at first. But when he picked up his role, he picked it up. I knew I was more into, I told you my father was a pastor.
Yes.
So I was more into church and whatever, I gave my life to Christ and all of that. As a matter of fact, I taught my husband how to pay tithes. I taught him. But when he learned, he knew he took up the responsibility of calling for family prayer, calling for this, calling for that. He took it up.
As parents, what are the things we do for love for our children? Because I've had a parent sell his property to send his child abroad, maybe on the promise of a better future for the child. So what are our parents really doing for our children in the name of love? And are this really love? Are they really love? In your own idea?
I'm very careful. I'm really going to be very careful talking about this Japa thing. Because those who know me already know my stand about Japa thing. And I wouldn't want to impose my stand on
some
anybody.
people. Yeah, correct.
It's up to people to do whatever they feel works for them or work for them. Whatever you think is best for your family is up to you to do what works for your family. I personally, I'm not a fan of Japa.
Okay.
If I had wanted to relocate, I would have gone since, by the grace of God. I'm actually not a fan of it because I just, yes, the country is actually in shambles.
Yeah.
A lot of things are not working. A lot of things that we want more for the country. We really do want more for the country, to be very sincere. Every day you hear they are killing. Most of the time when I go on social media and I see the way they are killing, I feel very bad about it. It could be me, it could be my child, it could be somebody.
Yeah.
You understand? But there's still just this little thing in me that still feels that by the grace of God, it's going to get better. And What do I do now? In my own environment, I try to create the desirable change. Because actually, change begins with you.
Yeah.
In a bunch, we're asking for government to do better. In our own small space, what are we truly doing?
Yeah.
Let's analyze it. That office, you are the head of department. You use Biro to inflate prices. You are driving your car. You wind down after drinking water, you throw away the bottled water on the road. You eat biscuit, you throw away the wrap outside the road. What are the little things? You break traffic light because Okowa police or whoever road warding people are not there. You break traffic light and you go. And you are relocating abroad and shouting for a better Nigeria. And you are looking for a better life. And you know, guess what? By the time they get abroad, they obey all those rules. Because you know you can't drop those things there. And they won't do that.
Yeah.
They won't break traffic light. They won't do those things they do in the country that they are abroad shouting for it to be better.
Yeah.
If all of us can actually take responsibilities, everybody in your own space, you do that which you know you can do to create the change around you. You do your own, I do my own, it does its own. We are going to see what this country will become. Because most of these people, they tell you, you hear them abroad. Abroad is not like that too. There, you don't shout, you don't make noise. Or if you do, before you know, they'll call police for you. But here, another neighbor is playing music and increasing the volume to harm the other neighbor. You won't sleep, but it's obtainable here.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? So we are actually a major part of our problem. Yes, government, very well. But we are. You can see I say we, including myself. Nobody is free. That's wrong.
Okay.
Now, coming to what parents do for love. I really don't know what people define as love. If you have properly trained a child, okay, you have properly trained a child, you're giving the child, like what I mentioned earlier, all the access, you know, you scold when necessary, scold in love, you correct, you discipline, and your child is built and formed. And you believe that, okay, this child can actually live life abroad. At least this child is hardworking. You know, like I tell people, what I always tell people about the jackpot thing. I always tell people, I said, if you're a young person and you want to hustle between Nigeria and abroad, maybe I'll tell you, okay, go abroad, go and hustle. Hustle and hustle.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? But you are a family person doing relatively okay in Nigeria. You know, you have wife, you have children, you have whatever. You have a house. You put it up for sale. You gather the money, you go abroad, and in fact, as a matter of fact, this is modern slavery. They are actually modernizing slavery. Those people, they know what they are doing. They went back. You know, before, slavery was by force.
Yeah.
They drag us, they drag our forefathers, and all of that, put them inside sheep and all of that. But now, no. They are taking away everything we're supposed to benefit, taking them, making their own place more conducive, like they're putting a little bit of the sugar in our lip for you to feel that, oh, it's sweeter out there.
Yeah.
When you come there, you become the main slave. What do our people do over there? Let's not go into that. Like I said, I can't impose what I think, my opinion on people. Well, if they think that works better for them, it's fine. So if you think you have trained the child and you want the child to go abroad, go and look for better life, what they call better life in quote, because let's assume that, for example, in the city where I live, we have, let's say 3,000 family, for example. Then 2,000 family relocate to look for better life. 1,000 family remains in the city. Now, we get to a point, let's say those 2,000 family, maybe say 1,000 will come back. Is it, where do they want to, you think those other 1,000 who are left behind will sit down, fold their hands and watch and won't do anything to occupy positions?
Yeah.
Like some of us are doing things to occupy positions that some people have left for us.
Yes.
Because positions will be if you leave government work, they will employ people to fill it.
They will replace you, yeah?
They will replace you. You understand? So before you know, that person you left as a level 7 person is already a whatever and is able to afford abroad, like on holiday, trip. By the grace of God, that's what I'm telling God. That's what I'm praying for. Take my children, go for a trip. Even if my children want to stay abroad, I don't have a problem. You want to relocate abroad and stay abroad, I don't have a problem because they're upcoming.
Yeah.
So if that is where you want to go and pursue your life, it's okay. But by the grace of God, the level I've not built my house in this town. I don't have land safe. So I will not say I'm even rich. Yet I'm still not looking for jackpot.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? So I think everybody just know what works for them. What we call satisfaction, what we call better life. So people in Nigeria, they make a hell of money more than people abroad. Abroad life just gives you comfort. You will eat, you will, just give you some kind of comfort.
Yeah.
They have structured their system in a way that you can't pack, except you're doing legal stuff. If not to pack their money like that, and you'll be making it, but to pack it like that, no. But Nigeria is one country where, just one contract from the government, just one contract, you have hit. So me, I just feel like that, to me, that's not what you call love. That's just your structure, how you want your family to be. Okay, because some people still send those children abroad after you have not groomed them, you have not trained them well, and they go there, they become nuisance.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? So I just feel that love entails grooming, putting family value, discipline, and training children in the way of the Lord. To me, that is love.
Oh.
Every other thing you do is just aftermath stuff. Okay, God forbid, if at the end of the day, the father or the mother dies and leave the children, what now happens? Is that value, those things you use, those love, that is what the people we hold on to. I just told you about my husband. How many years of marriage? Just 7 years of marriage. But if I talk to you 2 million times, I will mention his name 1,990,000 times. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Why? Because it was an environment of love. He didn't take us abroad. As a matter of fact, he didn't leave anything for us when he died. That's just the truth. Nothing. I started life. I picked life. I picked from scratch. He didn't leave anything. But I can never say he didn't love us. Because he did what love entails.
So today, B, would like to thank you for coming to the U Lab show today.
You're welcome.
And again, we will have need. We might have to call you again. Maybe we can talk about other ideas. Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.